Hello there. So, last week in the first video of our poi flower set, we talked about how you can build the muscle memory in your arms of proper flower petal placement such that you get those, lovely 4 compass points that we like to see happen in inspin flowers, right? And how once you've worked your way through all the petals, you can start practicing them in pairs and eventually work your way up to all 4 petals, right? So this week, we're going to talk about how you build up both hands together into flowers. Because after all, you will have a poi in both hands. There's no way of getting it around it. How do you bring them together in order to make more complicated flowers? So we're going to start with same time, same direction, just because it's the easiest timing. To begin with, we're going to look for particular spacing. In this spacing, our hands are about a poise distance apart. What this does is it puts them in a position where the poi should never, ever be able to tangle with each other, provided you keep them in the right, in the right timing. This is going to be true of whether they're down by your waist or whether they're above you. And in either case, you're going to take the exact same approach that you took to building up your flowers with one hand and create a petal, then go around an extension, petal, extension, petal, extension, yeah? And you're going to do the same thing up top. Once again, this is to train the muscle memory in your arms in each of these different positions. This will also give you the flexibility to be able to switch the type of flower that you're working with as you're moving through it. This is very, very helpful. And of course, once you've got both of them down, you want to practice doing the petal below and the petal above and switching into extensions in between them. And you should find that your arms are staying pretty much parallel all the way around this figure, right? Awesome. Now the question of how you address the side petals. My own preferred method is to have one poi in a buzzsaw plane and the other one in an outside wall plane kind of position, like so. And it's always going to be the poi that is on native side. That is, if my arms are both over on my left side, it's going to be the poi in my left hand that's between my arms. If my poi are on my right side, it's going to be the poi in the right hand that goes between my arms, right? You can also have both poi go into a buzzsaw kind of place. Totally depends upon your tastes, yes? But again, the process is the same, that you practice one side, go around, practice one side, go around, practice one side, go around, practice the other side, go around, practice that side again, go around. Build yourself up to the place where you're moving between those 2 petals. And hopefully you have a higher ceiling than I do. And then you can chain all 4 petals together. And you should find your arms automatically sinking into the proper positions. And the results should look awesome. Cool. So that's same time, same direction. What about if we took opposites same time? This, of course, being the configuration that we get in butterfly, which is very handy because if you've got a good grasp on your butterflies, this is going to be a basic position from which we're going to do a lot of work with opposite same time. The first place I would recommend starting is just do a butterfly and then sweep your arms out. Butterfly, sweep your arms out. Butterfly, sweep your arms out. Yeah? And as you're doing that sweep, see if you can do a pair of petals out there. Then bring your arms crossing over each other down through the middle. Yes? This shouldn't be too terribly difficult, but unfortunately every other petal we're going to work with is going to take a little bit of work. Starting with the petal that happens when we cross our arms. Now, this is actually something that's going to help you out a lot too when you're working with things like 4-beat threaded needles, for example. You're going to have to learn how to do a butterfly with your arms crossed. The way I usually like to do this is I'll start from a place with my hands together, and I'll gradually reach my dominant hand across my non-dominant hand a little bit, and then I'll start to pull my non-dominant hand away too. If you're lucky and your arms are really quite flexible, you'll probably actually be able to get your arms far enough apart that the poi heads won't even come close to meeting each other. If you're not that flexible, however, you're going to have to build up the muscle memory of doing a flower with your arms crossed. And once again, you want to practice going around in big extension, butterfly arms crossed, big extension, butterfly arms crossed, big extension, butterfly arms crossed, yeah? It's not unusual when you start off doing this that the more beats you do in this in-between place, the more sloppy your planes get and the more likely it is that they're going to tangle, which is fine for now. That's something to work on in the long term. If you can just get that single beat in crossed, you can escape out of it almost right away. And that's all you really need. And of course, we can chain together our outside petals and our cross petals. And we're half the way there. So now we have to talk about the top and the bottom petals. And there's really two ways that you could approach this. Number one is you could take the same kind of approach that we took in same time, same direction, wherein we keep our hands about a poise width apart. And you're going to choose one hand that the poi in that hand is always going to be slightly closer to the body than the other hand. So I don't know if you can make this out, but in this particular case, my right hand is always slightly closer to my body than my left hand. And the poi in my left hand is parallel to the poi in my right hand, such that as I'm moving around this circle, those planes remain in that same orientation no matter what. The other and slightly more complex approach is to start from a butterfly place and to get it as low as you possibly can. And then begin working with bouncing your hands up and down with the poi. So every time the poi go up, your hands go up. Every time they go down, your hands go down. And to really explore how high and low you can get in that kind of movement, right? The challenge comes in when you are going to choose an either up or down position and you're going to freeze your hands there for, say, 4 or 5 beats, yeah? Then you're going to go back to the bounce. And now you're going to go to the other position. So say I'm going to freeze it up top and try and hold my butterfly stable. And then go back to the bounce position, hold it stable down below, and bounce. Hold the butterfly stable up high. Yeah? You do this a lot. And if you do it a lot, you can get to a position where you can enter into a hands together butterfly, both high and low. Now, whether you want to keep your hands apart or bring them together is a decision that is totally up to you, whatever aesthetic you're chasing on this one. Nobody can guide you down that path except for you. Either way though, you're then going to practice getting in your high petals and your low petals, making sure that in between, your arms are crossed over and pulled straight out. And as you can see a couple times from me getting over eager as I'm practicing this, the next step is to try and work in those other 2 petals out on the sides and when your arms are crossed. One thing that'll get to be really tempting when you get to this stage is to try and take those vertical petals and make them not that much different from the petals on the side, say like there and there. What you are really, really shooting for is your arms to be straight above your head when you reach that petal. And remember, with each of these, we're counting 5 downbeats, just like we did in the previous video, right? So if you want to think of it that way, your first downbeat happens down, second one out, third one up high, fourth one arms crossed, fifth one down below, and then we start back over with the beat down below again. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 2, your arms are always straight out. On the 3s, they're always straight above you. On the 4s, they're always crossed. And on the 5s, you are always back at home base, yeah? So, next week we are going to cover some of the split time timings on how you create flowers. And then we're going to start getting into anti-spin. Oh dear. So, thank you guys for watching again this week. Please leave me any comments or suggestions that you may have. I'm really eager to find out how this is being received out there. And I will see you next Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.